All right, so I have two very, very dear guests on with me today, and they're going to be our guest speaker at our Lunch and Learn on Wednesday, July 19th at CLA Title in Rockville. And let me give you a little bit of background on why I asked these two folks to be a part of the Lunch and Learn. Since I met these individuals, they've always been true to their identity and they're straightforward people and they're knowledgeable in the real estate space. And so, with that, I'm going to ask you two to introduce yourselves. Let's start with
All
ladies
right.
first. Ladies first.
Oh, of course, ladies first. Well, thank you so much, Keith, for having me on and allowing me to speak to your guests. I do find this as a privilege and an honor. And, thank you for the compliment because staying true in this business to yourself is sometimes a little difficult to do because there are so many lanes that you can travel down. So, my name is Teray Holmes. I'm the money maximizer, and I teach motivated men and women how to maximize their money through real estate investing so they have options and not opposition when they're creating their financial future. And I am the co-host of the Cash Flow Breakfast Club. We meet out of Bethesda, Maryland once a month. You can find that on Meetup. So I'm really, truly honored to be here. And I'm also a real estate agent as well. So truly honored to be here and to be talking about PropStream.
What is
So
PropStream? I mean, that's a good question. Everybody, what is PropStream?
so PropStream is a platform wherein realtors, investors can go and find data. So a lot of realtors have the habit of waiting for deals to come to them, you know, waiting for listings or waiting for buyers or, waiting, doing the waiting game. Or maybe they may drive by a house and they may, see a vacant house or something like that. But PropStream has data, lots of data, because we're in this big data, this age of big data. PropStream is this platform wherein you can go hunting for those motivated sellers and you can basically source them through vacant property. So, I can only drive around so many towns, right? But with PropStream, I can literally check vacant properties in a whole county and a whole state across the United States. I can find people who have pre-foreclosures. I can find people who have utility issues, because if they have a utility issue, it's likely they may have a money issue. If they got a money issue, they probably can't afford to keep their house. So PropStream allows me to be able to source my deals, source my leads really well. And literally I can find the leads, source them, and even I can skip trace them right there. So I'll be showing your guests how to actually use PropStream to actually find leads, find motivated sellers using a whole lot of different filters. Super love the platform, and can't wait to teach it to your agents.
That's great. That's great. Finding leads without having to pay a whole lot of money or the big organizations is always a plus for any realtor. So thank you,
Yep.
Teray. And with that, we want to turn it over to my man, Dan. I'm going to let you introduce yourself, sir. Please let everybody know who you
I wasn't prepared for all this. Teray, like, you sound like you know what you're talking about. Well, my name's Dan Wheeler, realtor out of Keller Williams in Rockville. I have a podcast, which I'm the co-host of a podcast, Real Estate Wire podcast, on all platforms. And I guess you called me on for the social media stuff, which I like to do.
Right.
And then, so I guess if that's what we're going to talk about, that's the type of stuff I like talking about.
Well, let's give them the full background. Dan, you've been recognized by Washingtonian Magazine for your prowess in social media and how you've used that to grow your audience in real estate. So what we're looking for, share some of your tips and some of your unique style, what works for you on social media. Not to say we're going to duplicate you, but share what you do.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not really much to duplicate. I think the duplication is really just doing whatever like fits your vibe,
Right.
Most of my vibe is more just like funny, entertaining stuff.
Okay.
Edutainment, I guess, right? So, especially like on TikTok, I kind of just kind of rant. Okay. Somebody's arguing with me right now, and then they start arguing in the comments. A lot of this stuff, it's kind of good when you post kind of like controversial stuff, because that gets people beefing in your comments, right? And then that pushes it out to more people. And so, But yeah, a lot of social media is just kind of icing. The real cake is really, understanding the business models and making your, daily contacts and taking listing appointments and then closing deals, right? So that's kind of the cake. So
Okay.
can't just eat the icing. The icing's cool. It looks good. It's like, oh, you got a bunch of social media people. But really the cake is like getting down, making phone calls, setting your appointments, keeping in touch with the database. Like that's all the real stuff. And then once you do that, the social media hits a little bit harder because everybody's like, oh, he's like a real person. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
But that's a message in and of itself. People chase followers and numbers or who's watching what. That's all great, but you got to get down and do the work.
Yep.
You got to pick up that phone.
You do.
You got to, and it's the mundane work, have those conversations you don't want to have in order to get the appointments, in order to get to the closing table. So
yeah, a lot of people I talk to, they're oh man, I want to get in. I'm kind of like, are you closing deals without it? Yeah, I'm closing plenty of deals without it. Well, then keep doing what you're doing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not something that you're already doing, it's you don't have to kill yourself over it. If you're already doing it, then maybe you can bump it up if you already have like a knack for it, or if it's something that,
right.
If it's something you want to go all in on as a lead generation source, then I would say, all right, dope. Like create like a long-term plan, figure out your content pillars that you're going to hammer down. If you got 3 content pillars, right? You're gonna do something funny, something inspirational, something educational, and then something personal, right?
Right.
And then keep mixing up those 4 types of content inside your if it's Instagram, right, inside your profile.
Don't give us all the secrets. Save that for
right, because I'm over here taking.
Well, that's kind of like
here.
That's it, really. that's everything. I see it. Y'all don't gotta come now.
You gotta come and get the nuggets. You gotta show up to get the nuggets from these 2 heavy hitters in the real estate game. And I wanted to open it up to folks from not just one brokerage. These are folks I know have experience and will give it to you straight and make it worth your time. So you definitely want to join us for the 19th.
And I want to say this, so my forte is really finding folks who are interested in not just being realtors, but being, investors as well. That's really my passion, is teaching folks how to invest in what it is that they sell. So many realtors, there are a lot of realtors killing it, but they don't own anything. Right. Or they own just the house that they live in. And that's not an investment property.
Right.
Because you have to pay that mortgage and you have to pay those property taxes. But imagine when you start to scale and you start to get properties and now your tenants are paying for where you live, that's the key. So that's really, that's what I teach. That's what I love. I think that for me, it's really important for Black and Brown people to know that, all people, but particularly Black and Brown people, because African-American women, they own less real estate than every single demographic in the entire United States, but they have more degrees than several demographics in the United States and more student loan debt. So how do we educate ourselves? And so on one hand, we have Dan who's saying that he uses TikTok as a lead generation. But on the other hand, I'm saying use PropStream as a lead generation, whatever it is that fits you, and not just be a seller, but be a buyer of what it is that you also sell, so that we really can truly, build generational wealth. So I'm really excited to talk about PropStream from that perspective.
Well, I'm excited to have both you guys speak to us, share your philosophies, because if we could just get one nugget from each one of you, it'll advance our business. And like you say, the real work is appointments, negotiating deals, closing deals. This stuff gets us to that point where we can have an appointment. Another way to get an appointment. So the more tools we have in our tool belt to get more appointments, the better our bank account will look, the better we'll be positioned to be investors and grow wealth where we live. So I'm looking forward to having you folks on that. Thank you for participating. Yep. And you don't want to miss it. July 19th, Wednesday, 10 o'clock, start at 10, end at 1. Lunch will be free. You got to register so we'll know how much lunch to have. The worst thing you do is show up and there's not enough lunch. So register, use the link, come get these nuggets on how to grow your real estate business. Thank you. I'm Dan and Teray. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Have a great one.